What's going on, guys, and welcome to another Doctor Who video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Twice Upon a Time, which is the 2017 Doctor Who Christmas special. It's also Peter Capaldi's final episode, and also Stephen Moffat's final episode as the showrunner of the series. Now, I'm not going to go through things step by step, but I am just going to go over some brief things in this episode, so there will be spoilers. If you haven't seen Twice Upon a Time already and you don't want it to be spoiled, go and watch it first, then come back to this video, because I will be going through spoilers in this video. But anyway, let's get started. So we'll start off with a pretty broad question. Did I like the episode? And honestly, I will be completely honest, I'm not going to say that I didn't like it, because I did. I don't hate it. It's not, this isn't Hellbent 2.0. I did enjoy the episode. It's there, I'd watch it again. I don't know if it's one that I'd come to back over and over and over. However, I'd probably watch it on occasion, maybe at Christmas, and I'd watch it in a watch through of Doctor Who. I'd go to it. It's an interesting enough episode, and it's an alright enough episode. However, is it a good episode? I don't really know if it is. It just doesn't have much going for it, in my opinion. The main villain of this story, which actually doesn't even end up really being a villain in the end, I can't quite remember how it all goes down. I've only seen it once, so my memory's a little bit fuzzy. I haven't looked at anything before this. I've actually looked at a couple of other reviews on YouTube, but it's just kind of in my memory from when I watched it, which was almost a week ago now. But I can remember basic things. But basically we have this kind of interface computer thing, which is taking people from, well, at least it's taking Mark Gatiss' character, this kind of soldier, from his time stream just before he's supposed to die, and for some reason keeping him there. I can't remember quite why. But then this computer interfacey thing also kind of makes people from their own memories. So we end up seeing that Bill, who does make an appearance in this and is a pretty big part of the story, Bill does return. However, it's not technically Bill, it's Bill's memories. It's a little bit confusing, your typical Stephen Moffat gif gaff, but it's a bit weird. And in the end, I can't remember exactly everything that happens, but they don't really end up being evil. They don't kill anyone. So in that aspect, I think there was never really any danger. The Doctor never felt like he was in much danger in this story, and even when we kind of thought, well, these things might be a bit villainous, they still didn't feel that dangerous, And I think for a final story of a Doctor's era, we really need to have some more danger going on. We need to feel how the Doctor's feeling. He's terrified, but in this it's kind of like they don't seem to be much of a problem. So what is the big issue here? But anyway, of course, another big part of this story is David Bradley playing the first Doctor. I was a bit skeptical of this. I personally haven't. Oh no, have I? Oh no, I have seen. I have seen it. I can't speak English. I have seen An Adventure in Space and Time. That is very hard to say. Once, and I quite enjoyed it. I thought David Bradley did a pretty good job at portraying William Hartnell's first Doctor, although I haven't really seen much William Hartnell Doctor Who. I want to watch more, but yeah, I thought he did good, and he once again did pretty damn good in Twice Upon a Time. It was cool to have him there. Him and the 12th Doctor, they were both kind of at the end of their time streams, and they were getting ready to regenerate, but the first Doctor didn't want to regenerate. It was his first time doing it, and he was scared. The 12th Doctor was sick of regenerating and sick of going through all this, so he was also scared, and I liked that. I think that worked really well. However, I had some issues with the first Doctor. First of all, some of the things that he said, they were trying to get at, obviously William Hartnell was playing Doctor Who in the 1960s, the early mid-1960s actually, and obviously back then everything was a lot different, and there are some things that he says which really don't, you wouldn't really say now, but they're doing it because, it's what it was like back then, it was what the first Doctor was like, and I can understand why they did that, but I think they went overboard with a few things, and the problem is there was too many jokes. There was joke after joke after joke from David Bradley, and it kind of got a bit old after a while. Some of the jokes were pretty funny, and I laughed at them, but some of the jokes were just like, oh, did you need to say that? I didn't find that particularly funny. you know, it felt very weird. It felt a bit uncomfortable at sometimes, but you know, whatever. That's just a thing. It's a Christmas special. I guess it can be a bit weird in some places, but I did feel like it went a bit too far sometimes. As for him, you know, just playing normally though, I think he did a really good job as the First Doctor. No issues with that really. Now Mark Gatiss' character I thought was pretty interesting. I was a bit worried about how his character was gonna how his character was going to be and how he was going to play his character. On the most part, I think he did a pretty good job. Mark Gatiss is a very good actor. There are a few moments where it felt a bit cheesy and weird, but once again, it's a Christmas special. I can kind of forgive that. But yeah, of course, Peter Capaldi did an amazing job as the 12th Doctor as usual. Every line, every word he spoke, every scene he was in was just amazing. But I mean, you know, we expect that of Peter because he's just amazing. He's an amazing Doctor. He's an amazing actor altogether. And yeah, he did an amazing job once again in this episode. And then of course we have Bill, who I did briefly talk about just before, but you know, she fit into the story okay. She was kind of, I think she was just there so that we could have a companion with the Doctor. You know, she didn't really need to be there, I don't think, but I think it worked alright. It didn't destroy her story at the end of the Doctor Falls. You know, with her technically not really being there, she's just memories. I think it worked pretty well. And we also, at the very end, we got to see Nardole again, which it was his memories, kind of memory interface thing as well. So that was pretty cool to have him back just for a short moment at the end. And also we got to see Clara again. Now, when I was watching this, I was like, that's good. You know, I was happy that Clara was back for the end of the 12th Doctor's run. The Doctor now remembers Clara again. I never really liked how he forgot who Clara was. It just doesn't sit well with me, the Doctor forgetting one of his companions. You know, he remembers doing all these things, remembers there being somebody beside him, but just doesn't know who that person is. I love now that he does remember Clara. I just think it's a necessity. It doesn't work when he doesn't know who she is. However, at the same time, because of that whole thing with him now remembering Clara, it makes Hellbent even worse of an episode for me. It makes Hellbent completely redundant. What is the point of Hellbent now? What is the point of it? This is what Stephen Moffat does. He does something and then doesn't think about it, and then people get annoyed about it, and he's like, oh, okay, I'll try and change it back again. But when he changes it back again, he just makes things worse. So, I don't know what... You know, it makes Hellbent an even worse episode, because it makes it redundant. What was the point of Hellbent now? What was the point of it? I hated the episode before. I think I hate it even more now. So, you know, it's just... Clara. I'm really hoping that's going to be the end of Clara. That is going to be the end of Clara, right? I really bloody hope it is. Anyway, as a whole, I thought this episode was kind of meh. I've dragged on mostly for this video about the characters, but I guess that's what you've really got to talk about. To be honest, most of this episode was a character piece. It was just talking about the characters, talking about what the Doctors are feeling about their regeneration, their upcoming regeneration, should I say. And then a few other little things in there. We had a cameo from Rusty the Dalek, who we saw in episode 2 of season 8, second episode of Peter's run. It was nice to have a little throwback to him. I don't think he was really necessary, but you know, I didn't really mind. I liked seeing him there. It was something nice, just a callback. And yeah, one scene that I really did love in this episode was when they fixed the whole computer thingy. Everything was all good. They went back to the battlefield where Mark Gatiss was. I'm just going to call him Mark Gatiss because I don't know what his character was called. And they end up doing the thing where they start singing Christmas carols and playing soccer or football. I love that because that is something that actually did happen in the war, and I really thought that was a good scene. That was just a really awesome scene. That was probably my favourite part of the whole episode, and it didn't really have much relevance apart from, you know, showing that these two sides were coming together, and it was a real historical thing that did actually happen in real life. And I thought it was just a cool moment. I really just liked that moment. I just thought it was really well done, really good. We also find out that Mark Gatiss' character is, I think, some relative to Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart, probably like his grandfather or great-grandfather, I can't remember, which, you know, I suppose a lot of people could see coming. Was it necessary? I don't know. I mean, it's a nice callback to, obviously, to Lethbridge Stewart, but was it necessary? I don't know. I don't mind it, it doesn't bother me, but I don't think it was really needed. However, you know, I'm not going to put that against it. But anyway, I am going to wrap things up here. So altogether, my thoughts on Twice Upon a Time. I thought it was an alright episode, but it didn't really have too much going for it. I'm not really going to talk about the regeneration scene because not much really happened. I'll talk about that more probably later on. But yeah, altogether, I think this was an okay Christmas special. However, it just didn't have much. It didn't have much going for it. Stephen Moffat does this a lot. He either makes a story really complicated and just annoying, or he makes a story that's just dragged out, boring, and there's not much going on. I think it started off a bit too slow, but it ended pretty well. I liked Peter's speech at the end. Not quite as strong as Matt Smith's speech, but still a pretty decent speech. And, you know, I think the ending was pretty good. Kind of, when we got into the ship, it was a bit more interesting with the enemy. But, you know, I think it was a bit too slow going. The enemy wasn't really that vicious, I suppose. So it takes points away because of that. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Please tell me down below what you thought of Twice Upon a Time. And I'll see you guys in the next video.